Today I am going to tell you that One Piece is a higher grossing franchise than Hunter x Hunter, Star Trek, and Minecraft combined. One Piece is big, but I don't think many of us comprehend just how colossal this franchise actually is. So today we have a big mission. We are going to figure out exactly how much money One Piece makes per second, and the answer is going to blow your mind. Hello and welcome to the Grand Line Review, your source for everything One Piece. My name is Liam, and just in case you were curious, Australian money looks a little something like this, and it's very colorful and pretty. Money is very much the name of the game of which we are playing today though, because usually on this channel we look to the world of fictional pirates for lots of punching, fruit nomming, and this video of Kizaru rather inappropriately handling himself in public. None of that today though, or at least not much of it. Maybe a little bit, but not too much. Because we are on a mission that is going to commence with us figuring out exactly how much One Piece is worth as a franchise, including the net worth of series author Eiichiro Oda, and then breaking down the frankly disgusting amount of money that One Piece makes per second. And just as a note, this video is part of September, where for the entire month of September, every time someone subscribes to this channel, we will be donating 10 cents to Make-A-Wish Australia, a group who work to grant life-changing wishes for children with critical illness. Because One Piece is all about dreams, and we have the power to make some real-life dreams come true. So I think we should. And therefore I want as many of you to hit that big red button as possible, and there's also a link in the description to our fundraising page if you'd like to donate directly. Furthermore, please do say hi in the comments below if you are a new member of the Grand Fleet. Welcome. So fun fact, the thing that prompted my curiosity into the financial realm of One Piece is because very recently One Piece became the second highest selling comic book of all time. That's right, it finally officially surpassed Batman, and in order to celebrate, I feel like it's only natural that we use this twerking flexing Nami gif, because take that, Batman. But now only Superman stands between One Piece and that #1 spot, which is an absolutely absurd idea. One Piece has just utterly decimated every Western and even Eastern comic book in existence. And for whatever reason, I still feel like almost nobody knows about it. One Piece is a sleeping giant. My hypothesis is that so many more people know about it than they let on, and that it's actually on the cusp of becoming, dare I say, mainstream. I mean, even Taika Waititi parades around in his adorable Luffy sweater, so people be knowing about these pirates, and the raw cash monies behind the series very much makes that clear. Although I have to say that One Piece did not get off to the greatest of starts. In its first year of release, One Piece was quite legitimately in danger of making a grand total of $0. This is because the manga began publication in Weekly Shonen Jump on the 19th of July 1997, and it didn't actually, have anything to sell until the first volume was released in early December of that same year. Thankfully, that last minute release did bring the series an estimated $200,000 of sales, thus opening the grand bank of One Piece. And 200,000 sounds like a lot. I mean, it is a lot. It's a lot to an individual that is not so much a company. Because if that sounded like a lot, then you are probably not going to have any appropriate adjectives for every dollar amount that we're about to deal with. So to work out the gross income of One Piece, we first need to analyze the total manga sales over the last 24 years. It started out slowly, but things boomed very, very quickly, and there are now over 490 million copies of various One Piece volumes in circulation all over the world, which have garnered the series roughly $11 billion. That's right, I said billion, just in pure manga. This is by far the crowning champion of the One Piece empire, and to put that into some perspective, a Japanese manga volume is about this big. So if we were to take all of these Japanese volumes and just connect them onwards and onwards, then you would essentially end up with a string of manga almost 90,000 kilometers long. This construct could then circumnavigate the globe twice and still have length to spare. So in summary, there's a lot of One Piece out there, and this ink and paper alone has made the franchise over $11 billion. Following that, however, we have a whole nother whale to analyze in the world of merchandise. And when we're talking merchandise, yes, we're thinking about things from figures, plushies, posters, keyrings, badges, and other miscellaneous home fillery. The definition of merchandise practically extends on into infinity, and the basic stuff we've just mentioned isn't even where the real money comes from. Now prepare yourselves, because you are about to see some bizarrely fascinating One Piece stuff. Merchandising tends to be most profitable when it breaks into essential items. Food, toiletries, clothing, all of that sort of stuff that each and every one of us needs to sustain our very existence. Like delightful One Piece chewing gum. Refresh your breath with some Straw Hat and for some reason Trafalgar Law approved gum. Or if you're hungry, stop by McDonald's or KFC for a One Piece based meal deal. Or if that's too much, then I'm sure your local store will contain some refreshing One Piece Coke, Pepsi, or even Fanta. Actually, hold on, because we can't leave our house yet. First, we need to look presentable. So I'd recommend that you have a nice shave with your One Piece shaving blades, followed by some One Piece eye drops. Then of course, make sure to clean up your behind with some One Piece toilet paper. Afterwards, we're going to need to dress ourselves, for which we will need our Italian One Piece sportswear and accompanying sneakers, perhaps from the Battle of Marineford set, where a dude seems to have said to himself, look, what if we recreated the Paramount War, except every character is a shoe? And that thought was clearly met with thunderous applause because it was literally any idea that had not been done yet, so we did it. Of course, if you're feeling a bit more risque, then feel free to clad yourself in official One Piece lingerie. Here you can see the Shirahoshi and Boa Hancock sets, but you can also get Nami, Robin, and best of all, Bon Clay. And then when you're finally ready to go out, you will do so by hopping into your One Piece Nissan car. I think it's fair to say that if you want a One Piece anything, you can probably get it. And the merchandising arm of this franchise over the last 24 years has earned One Piece almost $6 billion in revenue, which rather shockingly is only about half as much as the total manga sales, and that does go to show that the true driving force of One Piece is definitely the story. But still, a $6 billion merchandising empire is pretty nice, and I would not say no if someone wanted to offer it to me. Something that is not included in that number, however, is video games. As a different medium, I suppose they're considered a category of their own, and fair enough, because over the last 24 years, One Piece has featured games on everything from the PlayStation 1 to our modern day Nintendo Switch. Over 40 separate offerings of, well, varying quality. Because I'm not gonna lie, the One Piece games are, well, they're much more missed than they are hit. The most interesting of which is, of course, One Piece Big Secret Treasure thing, blah, 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 blah. The name is, it's very long. And the main antagonist of the game is Simon, who is notable because he sucks. But all in all, these video game-based offerings have made the franchise a further $1.6 billion. Next up, we have box office earnings, which refers to the performance of the various One Piece films, of which there have been 14 released in cinemas. Now, most of these have performed quite humbly in terms of numbers. However, the more recent One Piece films have done exceptionally well, with One Piece Stampede taking over $94 million all on its own. But as a grand collection, these films have grossed a total of almost $1.2 billion, which leaves us with one category left to examine, being home entertainment. So anime fans, you may have been wondering, where's the anime? Where does that factor into all of this? And sadly, I have to report to you that it really is very much a blip on the radar in terms of direct revenue. So I'll just come out and say it, the total grossing of the home entertainment is only $433 million over the last quarter of a century, which mostly accounts for DVD and I suppose video sales, because One Piece is probably old enough to have been selling videotapes back in the day. Let me know in the comments if any of you actually remember videotapes, because quite frankly, just saying those two words makes me feel extraordinarily old. The thing to remember here though is that the anime is kind of designed to be a loss leader. It's produced and then slapped on free-to-air television, and the idea is to get people interested in One Piece to drive more sales for the manga and other assorted merchandise. And yeah, the anime license does get sold to streaming platforms like Crunchyroll and Netflix, but those license fees are minuscule and negligible in comparison to the literal billions of dollars that we're talking about with everything else. Now, adding everything up, all in all, the total reported franchise gross of One Piece is $20,515 million, which is an amount of money that I cannot even begin to comprehend. However, it officially makes One Piece the 20th highest grossing franchise of all time, comfortably in front of Lord of the Rings and even on the cusp of overtaking Toy Story. Oh, and just in case you were wondering, the highest grossing franchise of all time is of course Pokemon, with over $90 billion. Pikachu is quite literally the most valuable mouse in human history, so no wonder Team Rocket keep trying to steal him. But with this in mind, it makes a lot more sense as to why One Piece is being targeted for a live-action adaptation by Netflix. At the time of this recording, it is literally the 20th most valuable property in the world. So there is a lot of opportunity here that I'm sure is not at all lost on the producers of the show. And honestly, if the adaptation is good, and yes, it's a big if, but if it is, then that is the last push we need that would almost certainly make One Piece fully mainstream. But just how much of this cash stuff does series author Eiichiro Oda see? Well, it seems quite small in comparison, but Oda's net worth is estimated to be around $200 million. And furthermore, he is also currently listed as the 12th best-selling author of all time. And that includes all of human fiction, by the way, and just for some perspective on that, there are only 10 people, living or dead, currently standing between Eiichiro Oda and William Shakespeare. Oda is essentially the Shakespeare of our time. So I guess just imagine King Lear if the king was Sanji and he was leering at Nami's breasts. Instant global classic. That is the gargantuan impact that One Piece has had on the world. In fact, in terms of raw sales, One Piece is extraordinarily close to overtaking even Harry Potter. Although, to be completely completely fair, that's more so to do with the available books. For example, in my household, we own a grand total of 7 Harry Potter books. Meanwhile, we have roughly 150 volumes of One Piece across both English and Japanese. Alright, let's get to the stuff now. We're going to figure out exactly how much One Piece makes per second. So if we've got a number of $20.5 billion over 24 years, then we can look at what the series made on average across those 8,760 days. And on average per day, One Piece apparently makes well over $2 million. A very enviable day rate, to say the least, which means that per hour, One Piece makes an astonishing $97,000. Meaning that if most people were One Piece, they could probably work for half an hour to 45 minutes and probably earn more than their yearly salary. That is just how ridiculous this mega giant is. And zooming in on that even more results in One Piece making approximately $27 every second. Now that might sound like a bit of an underwhelming number, 27 bucks, but it pretty seriously adds up very, very quickly. In fact, over the course of you simply watching this video, One Piece has made around $20,000. Meanwhile, all I've managed to do is make a big mess because now I have to go and put all of this back. While I do that, here's another video for you to watch. It's about something to do with One Piece, which you'll enjoy, because there's always more to learn, explore, and experience with this wonderful series, so I look forward to seeing you there.